Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. In this video, I like to share with you 5 things learners struggle with on their driving, especially in the driving test. And many are failing the driving test because of those 5 problems. Either because they don't know how to deal with it, or they feel confused, they don't know how to deal with it, and they're failing the driving test. So in this video, I'm going to cover those 5. Hopefully by the end of the video, you'll fully understand those 5 problems, and hopefully you're not going to fail the test because of those problems. Let's start the lesson. Number 1 is when you are driving on a road and there are 2 lanes, or could be 3 lanes, and you are driving on your left lane, and then you come across with a problem. Maybe there is a cyclist, or maybe there is a roadwork, or maybe there is a parked car, half of it on your lane and the other half is on the pavement. So your lane is not fully taken, only half of your lane is taken. In that case, what do? Many learners, they get confused and they think that, well, half of my lane I have to go round, and they think they could just squeeze around without causing any problem for others. What they don't know is when they're trying to squeeze around, half of their car is gone to the other lane, and if there's a car coming, they're going to cause them problem. They need to slow down because of them, and that's a problem. Okay, just because half of your lane is gone, it doesn't mean as you're going round your lane is just going to expand. It's not going to expand, is it? So if you've got a problem in your lane, maybe a cyclist or maybe there's a parked car, so in that case, what do you have to do? You have to change lane, because even if half of your car needs to go to the other lane, it means you have to change lane. You're going to cause problem for others. So what's the plan? The plan is look at the mirrors, put the signal on, look at the blind spot, make sure there's nobody there, then go round. Don't just try to go round without any plan, no mirror, no signal, and you think that I'm just going to squeeze around and my lane is just going to expand. It's not going to expand. You need to drive in your lane. For any reason, little bit of your car goes to the other lane, you have to make sure it is safe and there's nobody on the other lane. Even if it's little bit, you don't have to go fully on the other lane to cause problem. Even little bit, if you go on the other lane, you'll cause problem. They'll have to slow down for you, and because of that, you'll fail your test for that. So like here now, you've got 2 lanes. I've got cars on the other lane. Okay, what if I've got a problem in my lane? What am I going to do? Am I going to just squeeze around? I'm not going to squeeze around, am I? I have to make sure that the other lane is free. Mirror, mirror. I'm going to signal. I'm going to look at the blind spot. I'm going to change lane. Okay, and then after the problem, mirror, mirror, and then I'm going to come back to my lane again when it's safe to do so. So blind spot, signal, blind spot, and change lane. Okay, so try not to just squeeze around as if your lane is just going to expand. It's not going to expand. You have to make a plan and imagine your lane is blocked. Even if you take little bit of the other side or other lane, okay, and causing problem for the other lane, you will fail your test for that. And the next one is the traffic light. Okay, when you are approaching a green traffic light, how do you approach? Many learners, soon as they see a green traffic light, they speed up. They try to beat the traffic light, and that's what the problem is. Because when you go near to the traffic light, if it does change, what's going to happen? You're either going to stop, harsh braking, really hard to stop, and there could be a car behind, or they go through red light because they're too close, the speed is too high, and the traffic light changes, they just go and it's red. So how do you approach a green traffic light? When you are approaching a green traffic light, how do you approach? How do you think you should approach a green traffic light? Many learners, they try to beat the traffic light as if, oh, it's going to change, I'm just going to go. This is green, mirror, just go in a way around here, give gas. Okay, just because it's green, it doesn't mean you have to beat the traffic light. So for example, here is green, mirror. Okay, I'm just going to drive as normal, mirror, and when I'm here, now I'm going to give gas. I'm not going to try to beat the traffic light just because it's green. I have to go. You don't have to go. So what's the best way to approach a green traffic light? The best way to approach, for example, now is green, yes? So how am I going to approach? I'm going to approach, obviously I've got cars now in front of me. Okay, I'm going to approach in a way as if it's red already. Okay, how do you approach a red? It's red now. Okay, just imagine it's red. When I'm about here, mirror, I'm going to give gas. Okay, don't think it's green or it's going to change. I have to beat the traffic. I just have to speed up and I have to go before it changes. Don't do that. Okay, because if you do, just before the traffic light is going to change suddenly, and you're either going to brake hard as an emergency, or you're just going to go through the red light. Okay, so it's green now. What does that mean? Does that mean I have to beat the traffic light? No, you don't. Obviously I've got cars now, but even if I didn't have those cars, it's green. I'm going to go in a way as if it's red. Okay, it's red. So when I'm here, mirror, give gas. Okay, so treat every traffic light when it's green as if it's red. I'm approaching a red traffic light. How do I do that? Okay, it's green now. Okay, so mirror, I'm driving as normal. Okay, I'm driving as normal, and I'm thinking it's red. Okay, so how do you approach a red? Mirror, I'm going to brake a little. Why? Because it could change. It could change. Now here, mirror, give gas. It didn't change. Okay, many learners, soon as they see a green traffic light, what do? They start speeding up, and then all of a sudden, as they are near to the line, it changes, and then they either stop in an emergency, and there could be a car behind very close to them, or they go through red light because they're too close to the line. So like I said, let me repeat, when you see a green traffic light, what do? How do you approach? Approach in a way as if it's red. Okay, imagine it's red. How do you approach a red traffic light? So you approach in a way that I'm going to stop where the line is. So drive as normal, go near to the traffic light, and when you are about car or two distance away and it's still green, mirror, give gas and carry on, because then you'll be too close and you don't have to stop anymore. Okay, just have to make sure that the stop line, you're not crossing on red. You have to pass the stop line on green or on amber. You can't cross on red. Next is the steering. Okay, many learners, for them to go left and to go right, sometimes they need to steer quite quickly to make the turn, maybe because the junction is sharp corner or the road that they're going in, they need to do steering quickly, and what they're doing is they're steering little bit, smaller circle, try to do bigger circle. Okay, the way you steer for you to go quickly is to don't steer little bit, try to steer full circle. Okay, full circle. That way you're going to get quicker, you're going to do it quickly, the steering. And many learners, they just do that, and it costs them a lot of time for them to do the steering. Do big circle, do big circle. So that way you're going to do the steering quickly. Or you want to go left here. Okay, you want to go left, instead of steering like little bit, like this. Okay, and then taking it back slowly, try to take it back bigger circle. Okay, so let me show you. I'll stop here and show you. Okay, so instead of you steering to go left and right little bit, so little bit like that. Okay, like that, try to steer bigger circle, big circle. That way you could do it quickly, the steering. Okay, quickly there. Many learners, they steer, but they only steer a little bit like this. Okay, like this. How should you steer? Steer bigger circle, bigger circle. That way you only need few. So you want to go left or you want to go right. Instead of steering little bit, try to steer full circle, full circle, full. Okay, full circle. Okay, full circle. Instead of steering just little bit like that, that's going to cost you more time to steer, and by the time you steer, you've already gone in. Okay, two things I like to share. Number one, if you want to take mock test with me and you live in Southampton or maybe around Southampton, or maybe you could come to Southampton because that's where I'm based, and you want to take mock test with me, do contact me by email. I will leave the email on the description, and obviously it's here as well if you want the email. Obviously it will be recorded and it will be on the channel, and if you're happy with that to take the mock test, do contact and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you are learning and you need help on learning and passing the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course. The course gives everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. It has everything a learner needs. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read, and if you like it, you could always join the course. Next is the judgment on they are making when there is no space for two cars. Okay, so maybe there's parked cars on both sides and there's no space for two cars, what we call is meeting situation. If there's a car coming from the opposite, make a judgment, can you go or not? If you can go, make the judgment, make sure it is safe for you to go, you carry on going. If you think you can't go because there is no space, make the judgment and stop nicely for the other car to come. The problem comes when you feel you're not sure. That's what the problem is. If you're not sure, what do? Don't go. That's where the problem is. If you're not sure, don't go. Just stop, let them go. Because if you push the other car to stop, you will fail your test for that. Okay? So if you think you can go, that's easy. You know you can go, you're going to go. If you think you can't go, then that means you confirm that you can't go. You're going to stop. The problem is if you're not sure. If you're not sure, then that means the gap is not going to be that big. Just stop anyway. And even if you did have the space to go, the examiner is not going to fail you for that because you made the judgment to stop because you're not sure. Okay? So the danger isn't when you are sure you can go or when you are sure you can't go. The problem is when you are not sure. If you are not sure in a situation where there is no space for two cars, my advice is stop anyway. That way you can't go wrong. So for example, we are coming up to a road where it's going to be parked cars on both sides. Okay? So here, as you can see, there's parked cars on both sides. If there's a car coming, what do? Don't push the other car to stop, okay? Make a judgment and then decide whether you've got the space or not. If you don't have the space to go, don't go. Stop, okay? If you're not sure, stop. So say there's a car coming now and there's no space for two cars. What are you going to do? Make a judgment. I'm going to stop or am I going to go? If you think you've got the space, go. If you don't have the space or you're not sure, make the judgment and stop. And how do you stop? Stop in a way. For example, there's a car coming now. Just say, I'm going to go in there and then I'm going to stop for the other car. When the car goes, mirror, mirror, and then I'm going to go. Okay? So, if you think you can go, make the judgment and make the plan to go. If you think you can't, then you stop. And if you think you're not sure, what do? Make sure you stop. Many learners, they feel confused, they're not sure. And what do? They just go squeezing, causing the other car to stop. Okay? So for example, here now, there's a bike coming, two bikes. Do I have the space to go? No, I don't. So what do? I'm going to stop around here. Okay, obviously I've got another car in front, so I'll stop here. Okay? And then before I go, mirror, mirror, and then carry on going. Okay, mirror, second gear. There's a car coming now. So what's the judgment? Can I go or not? The car is coming. Okay, there's plenty of parked cars. I've got space on my side. I could just go. There's space for two cars. So I know there's space for two cars. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have gone. Okay? Smooth braking. Okay, many, they don't know how to do this smooth braking. So how do you brake? You cover the brake, cover the clutch, okay, and then you brake to stop the car, and then you put the clutch on at the end, and then what do you do at the end? You don't release the brake. That's the problem. Okay, you just keep the brake on and the car stops and you're getting that jolt. It's not smooth braking. Why? Because you don't release the brake and then put it back on again. For you to get this smooth braking, what you have to do is you brake, and just before the car stops fully, you release the brake a little bit and then you put it back on again gently. Why? Because when you brake, where do you think the weight of your car is going? It's going to the front. Yes? So the weight is going to the front, and if you don't take the weight back a little bit, and if you don't even out, what's going to happen? You're just going to do that. You're just going to do that. Okay? So when you brake, the weight is gone at the front, and just before the car stops fully, release the brake a little bit so the weight goes back a bit, and then put it back on again. That way the weight is even now. You're not going to get that jolt. Okay? So when I say release a little bit. You're not allowing the car to go. You're just releasing so the weight goes back a bit, and then put it back on gently enough so the car doesn't move. When you put it back on again, don't put it hard back on again. Just little put it back on again so the car doesn't move. Handbrake on, neutral, done. So say I just want to stop on the right hand side. Mirror, signal right. I go to the right hand side, and I want to stop here, okay? So cover the brake and the clutch, okay? So what do? I brake, I brake, I put the clutch down, and I brake, and just before the car stop, release the brake a little bit, and then put it back on again. Handbrake on, neutral. If I didn't release the brake, I'm going to get that jolt, okay? Why is that? It's because when you brake hard or when you brake to stop, where do you think the weight of your car is going? It goes to the front, doesn't it? And if you keep the weight at the front, you're just going to get that jolt. You're going to get that movement, okay? So if you want to take the weight back a little, what do? You release the brake a little bit so the weight goes back, and then you put it back on so it evens out the weight. So the weight is not staying at the front and you're not doing that, okay? So for you to get a smooth braking, release the brake at the end a little bit and then put it back on. That way you're not going to get that jolt. So these are the 5 things many learners, they struggle with when they are driving, especially in the driving test. Like I said, they're failing the driving test. So hopefully now you understand those 5 problems, and hopefully you're going to learn to deal with those 5 problems when you are driving, especially in your driving test. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please do give a thumbs up, and please do make a comment what you think of the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so don't miss of my future videos, and hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.